this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from the beautiful metaverse, and more specifically from beautiful Danville, Illinois, homeland of the Corellian tradition. And this is Midday with Reverend Don. Welcome. And as you know, if you follow Midday with Reverend Don, you can type your questions or comments into my chat room, and we can communicate with you directly. The chat room is not on the screen today because we have a guest. And I want to welcome my guest, Harold Sanford Carter III. Welcome, Harold.
Merry meet, Don. Merry meet, y'all.
And I want to say hello to Jade Rising and an invisible friend in the chat room. It's good to see you both. And as I was talking about yesterday, the Witchcraft TV broadcasting station has been hacked, and that is Harold's channel that he runs. And we're going to talk about that subject today. And Harold, could you tell us what happened?
Yeah, sure. Well, throughout the course of every day, I go through that particular YouTube channel to look at contents that there, because it actually embeds into the online website where the online television station is, and YouTube acts as one of the few different storage containers where content is archived. When I went for my regular programming, and the programming is something that I've been doing for a number of years. I'm seeing stuff from 3 years ago where I'm doing reels and commercials of what's going on in particular programming. Well, I noticed that, all the programming was gone. And I was like, okay, is this a glitch? This is strange. And there was a few different like cryptid images that were left behind. A cover photo and a profile photo with some kind of Arabic writing. And I was like, wow, I guess we just got done up. So I was like, I was kind of panicking. And what that did ultimately is it took off a multitude of programming from the programming aspects on a different platform, not YouTube, somewhere else, where all the threads of videos in MP4 was particularly like blank, broken linked, gone. And it just became a hardship because there's a scheduling of programs that happens with Witchcraft TV. And it doesn't auto run. I actually sit there manually day after day, all year, with quite an extensive history of doing this every night, where it's anywhere from 3 to 5 hours every night. I'm programming it. Just at one station, Witchcraft TV. And it was just a burden because now I have to reach for alternative programming. And the station was kind of disoriented for, probably 5 or 6 hours. Yeah, 5 or 6 hours. We also have within the Witchcraft TV network, we have something called the core class, which is like a teaching class. Where we talk about, things. We talk about the laws of Mother Nature. We talk about immutable law. We talk about Hermes Trismegistus. We talk about the Emerald Tablet. We talk about old school pioneers of what is contemporary witchcraft, like Jessie Wicker Bell and her passing of information that not so many people are talking about. So all those things were gone, broken links. So I had to take off different elements of the station. And it was kind of like a thorn in my side for about 5 or 6 hours, quite panicky for 20 minutes. But as far as, other avenues of the same content, particularly lone wolf shows, all of the lone wolf shows were archived on our YouTube channel. And if anyone's heard of the Lone Wolf Show, it's an interview show that interviews the wisest people in humanity that I can find on my own personal trek and path of contemporary craft. And they've been documented. I've had prestigious elders from all around the world, prestigious authors, famous pagan musicians, and all of these things were, doing that. And they were gone. The good news is that, YouTube wasn't the only storage device. they've been archived in different locations. So it was a burden. It just, what it means is that I have been going nonstop for like 48 hours of little to no sleep, where I'm sitting behind my computer right here in the Witchcraft TV studios, which is now in Oklahoma. Because I mean, I have been trekking around the country. That's a different conversation. But I've been staying up really, really late and grabbing a hold of the content that was, maliciously deleted from the community. Now, the thing that bothers me the most, Don, and I'm going to be honest about it, the thing that really bothers my heart the most is that some of these lone wolf shows that were deleted weren't just taken from me, they were taken from the community. And this is why I say this, because some of those lone wolf shows are with people that are no longer here, that have crossed over to Summerland. They're not with us anymore. One of those people is a witch by the name of Aranon, who just recently passed, and that footage is now no longer accessible. Now, I haven't really seen much content with that particular elder in the craft. I haven't seen much floating around, but we were able to, conduct, a professional, interview. And it was just sad that it was taken down. The good news is that that particular interview was archived somewhere in the abyss in the great scheme of cloud storage. So now that particular interview is safely on my laptop, which holds a lot of the Witchcraft TV content and curriculum, and will be reintegrated into a more safer, secure YouTube channel to act as a storage device to embed back into the programming. But on our station on Witchcraft TV, you'll notice that, we're streaming tough and there's no more broken links, and we are back to a regular scheduled situation. So although the attacks are malicious and we are seeking criminal prosecutions, working with particular authorities and working with the YouTube and Google platforms with cross-referencings of email. I've had one phone call, and we're going to be doing that, for legal action, so to speak. But that's only for the integrity and protection of Witchcraft TV, because it is something that I do hold dear. And as I trek further down my path, these things just come to pass, that malicious attacks can be happening, that it is a possibility, and particularly with our modern day shift of political powers, which I don't get into politics a lot, but let's face it, it's a reality. And
well, you know what they say, you may not be interested in politics, but politics may be interested in you.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, I definitely am aware of the political shifting and what is more beneficial with contemporary witchcraft, and I support that particular political entity. But here we are, and it's something that we have to face. And I was talking earlier with a very smart individual about pagan media. I mean, let's face it, in a lot of ways, and I'm trying to step out of my ego. I really am, and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But I'm on the front lines here. I'm on the front lines here. If we are going to be attacked maliciously, if we're going to have cyber attacks, the first people they're coming at is the platforms. They're coming after Witchcraft TV. They're coming after, online radio. They're coming after, organizations that host, any organization that hosts a multitude or gathering of, what is under the umbrella of modern day paganism. Wicca and witchcraft is all part of that big umbrella. So,
yes, indeed. Well, you point out correctly, we're entering into a very interesting political time. Um, I don't know whether this attack was from outside or the community or from some disgruntled individual, but it doesn't matter. Either way, it speaks to the importance of preserving our archives. And you talk about people who are no longer living, and I was talking about this yesterday. We have at Corellian TV interviews with people like Raymond Buckland and Olivia Robertson and Donald Michael Craig and Raven Gramazzi, and many other people who are no longer physically with us. Um, and it would be horrible to lose that footage. Now, we have always been very careful to maintain our archives on more than one place, so that even if someone were to be able to do this to us, we would be able to reconstruct quickly. And it sounds like you have done the same. But to all those other people out there who are doing podcasting and videos and so forth, bear this in mind and learn from this situation. Make sure that you are maintaining um, your archives for the future. And this is I cannot strengthen it too cannot say it too strongly. It's very important for us to preserve our records for the future, because if you've only got them stored in one place, they're easily destroyed, like the records of the Theosophical Society
Mm.
in Los Angeles. Although I understand some of those had been digitized, in which case they survive. But I would be very surprised if they'd all been digitized because there were so many. But we can hope that they did. But we all need to be looking at our records. We who have records, I have records going back through the 40 odd years of my career. And those that I have been able to preserve, I must make certain are preserved in many different places. And you and everybody else in pagan media really need to do that too. And now is the time we really need to be looking at it. And meanwhile, we want to say hello to various people in the chat room. I haven't really been able to see it while we've been talking. I see Chris Copeland and Swackfan and Renee and Steve have all been here. We want to say hello to all of them. One of the things we've been talking about for a while is the importance of preserving archives, and to have this happen really only makes that message more important. Can you tell us tell us more about what you do and how people could involve themselves in it?
Oh, absolutely. You can involve yourself with Witchcraft TV by simply just going to the website. The website is www.witchcrafttv.online. And there is, programming available. I put out scheduling that is, manually programmed every night. We also have a new endeavor called the Witchy TV Tarot Show, which I'm reaching out to the wisest tarot card readers and people who practice various forms of divination. We have people that read oracle cards. We have people that read tarot. We have people that read regular playing cards. And what I've learned, even throughout the show, is that the regular playing cards is actually the very root of where tarot cards come from.
Yes.
So I was kind of excited about that. And the art of throwing bones, or the term osteomancy, is kind of a rare endeavor in our community. Not too many people do that form of divination, but I was able to find a gifted osteomancer that does that for the show too. And this is something that we do live on social media. And what we do is we do free readings for the community in exchange for sponsorship or donations to keep Witchcraft TV on air. And it's been somewhat successful. It doesn't raise a lot of money, but it's enough. It's enough to get by the infrastructure of the Witchcraft TV platform. And I'm about to give it all away right now. It's only about $150 to $200 a month to run. But $150, $200 a month throughout the year, it adds up to over $1,000.
Oh
So
yeah.
it does become something where, well, in these economical times, if you're not, working or you need to provide for oneself, it does become a burden. So it's a good resource to be able to do that. And if you can't sponsor Witchcraft TV, but you need some kind of advice, we have gifted people on the network that, some of our people have master's degrees in psychology that are giving these divinational readings. To me, that's high quality exchange, and very free if you cannot sponsor.
You
So
know,
that's
I'm
that's
glad that you mentioned that because people don't realize these things don't happen for free.
yeah.
Corellian TV doesn't run free of charge either. We pay for these services. That's why we have sponsors who will be running our commercials in about 10 minutes. But um, it's very important to raise the money to support these things. They don't support themselves. For many years when I was involved with Witch School, and I'm still somewhat involved with it at a distance, but people didn't understand how expensive it was to maintain that site with its servers and its programmers and all of the things it was doing. It could be thousands of dollars on a regular basis. And um, you hear people say, well, everything should be given for free. Well, it's not free to produce. um, and so often in our community, people forget that. All of this, every form of pagan media represents a great deal of sacrifice on the part of the people who are doing it, and most people don't understand that because they've never been involved in it. But if you've been involved in it at all, you will know that that is the case.
Don, I saw somebody in the chat room saying, I think it was Rachel, said domain expires October 19th, 2025. And I think what they're talking about is the domain of Witchcraft TV. And I'm pretty sure that's accurate. October 9th is the cutoff date where the domain has to be repaid for.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we have these, $200 a month to operate Witchcraft TV, there's also yearly fees that incorporate with some of the software.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to run online television, there's three or four actually different, well, actually 6 or 7 different components that you have to work together interchangeably to formate what is online television. There's a website, there's storage containers, there's the actual software that runs the programming.
Yeah.
So there are different entities, and part of that domain is a yearly fee. And the yearly fee is about $120 a year on top of the regular fees that happen monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the truth be told, and I never said this publicly because there's a lot of ego with it, but last October 19th, when I was up for the yearly fees, I was like, wow, I got to run this thing. I've done Witchcraft TV for a year. I want another year. I'm going to be real with you and the viewers and the public. I went to a blood bank and I gave plasma for a donation to run that station. Okay. This is how much indebted I am, where I gave my own blood to get this thing, continually moving. So that's the sacrifice that I take. So, and I've also noticed something, Dawn, that I got to get off my chest right here on Midday with Dawn. And I'm so happy to be playing Midday with Dawn on Witchcraft TV. You can catch a lot of the rebroadcasts of this same show right here on Witchcraft TV at noon. So I'm very happy to do that.
And thank you. We appreciate that.
I'm very happy to be able to do that because it's a real good platform for educational things. But what I've been looking at is this. In the field of relevance, it's kind of like when you have haters in the community. If we don't have any haters in the community, you are not relevant. Because if nobody's hating on you, then you ain't doing nothing. So I feel like haters are are important to be relevant. But check this out, Don. We got more than haters now. We got hackers.
Yes, indeed. And you know, that's a very, very important point, that if you are doing anything meaningful, there are going to be people who are going to be upset with you. Um, and you know, what are you going to do? And my answer is, you keep doing what you do, and you
Yeah.
keep going forward. And um, it is it's an interesting path that we are walking. And you know, sometimes um, people will behave in very unexpected ways. But the thing is, if what you're doing is important, you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And what I would say to you, from the 40 odd years of my career, is that I'm still here because I never stopped.
Yeah.
And you know, I have been frequently been attacked by people who had lost a political argument or some other situation, who have made all sorts of accusations against me, but never with any actual proof. Um, and you know, you have to, and I said this last year. I said, you know, you have to assume in the end that hopefully you have lived your life in such a way that people will be able to see the truth regardless of what anyone is saying about it. And I found for myself that proved to be true. And it's always my best advice to people. And don't let other things stop you. If you are called to do this work, do the work. I have had tremendous adventures interviewing and documenting this community. Plan to continue to have them, although a little more slowly now.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's very important um, that we don't allow difficulties to knock us off of our path. And, you know, as we look at things like Project 2025, we may be facing some unexpected difficulties at this time. And never more is it has it been as important that we stay doing what we do. And so I hope that you will continue to do what you do. I certainly plan to continue to do what I do. And let me have you once again tell people how they can contact you or be involved with Witchcraft TV.
Sure. We have an active Facebook group on Facebook. It's just Witchcraft TV. If you pop it in there in a search bar on Facebook. We have a TikTok account that often, there's reels and commercials about the latest developments, latest shows. We also have a website, www.witchcrafttv.online. We offer witchcraft television year round, all night, all day. Below that is Pagan Music TV, which is pagan music all day, all the time. Below that is a newer innovation for the Witchy Kids TV network, where it plays witchy cartoons, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, educational documentaries, for the kiddos in those pagan households out there, for documentaries on Egyptology, Romans, the Greeks, all in a slant, suited for younger generations. We have an endeavor for the Witchcraft Herald, which is a newer innovation for online magazines and blogging. We're getting submissions regularly now. We're also self-publishing a few Llewellyn authors up there. We're growing. Yeah, we're growing. We have a YouTube channel that is being, locked down and reintegrated, and going to be uploading all of our existing footage. That's kind of where you can find us. I'm also very, very, very easy to find, Mr. Lewis,
Mhm.
particularly on social media. Hail Hermes, hail Thoth.
Absolutely. Now we're going to take just a moment for a word from our sponsors, because we love our sponsors, and then we will be back. And here we go. Ready to unlock the secrets of the universe? Join me, Rev Don Lewis, for my metaphysical and magic auctions at Gaia Thrift at whatnot.com. Discover fascinating artifacts, mystical crystals, and rare and unusual books that could change your life. Don't miss this chance to bring a little magic into your world. Rev Don's Metaphysical and Magic Auctions, where the extraordinary can become yours. And thank you to our sponsors, Equinox Learning Hub and Rev Don's Metaphysical and Magic Auctions. We will have news for you about our next auction soon. Thank you for joining me, Harold. And what is next on your plate?
Next on the plate is a brand new show, and we always have a big brand new show on Witchcraft TV because I'm always trying to give better content and to better serve the witchcraft world, pagan world, and that is a show called Festival Fun, and the Festival Fun show is going to be specifically for festivals within the community, and various organizations and community. And that is being done with a co-host with a well-established Llewellyn author by the name of A.C. Fisher Aldag. And I'm very, very happy about that innovation. We should be up and running within a week or two with our very first episode. So there's new endeavors of new shows all the time. And that's one of them. Another newer show that we have on Witchcraft TV is called Within the Cauldron. And they are a family of witches in the Midwest who do really good interviews with a lot of pagan leaders. Alexander Cabot, for example, Oberon Zell, who we all dearly love. And I'm quite excited about other developments, particularly in my own interview path. I have interviews with Christopher Penczak scheduled for the spring equinox on May 20th. That's a really big one because I'm from New Hampshire and he has his temple out there in New Hampshire. So that is so exciting. And, I remember reading his books, listening to his CDs like 20 years ago. And here I am 20 years later. And I'm like, I'm a big fan guy. I'm like, wow, this is Christopher Penczak. Does anybody know who that is? So I'm like, wow. So I'm very happy and get chills thinking about it. We have other interviews with Oberon Zell just recently got hand fasted to a priestess, and I get to interview her. And
wonderful.
If you want to find out who that was or who that is, you can just tune into the network. That's going to be happening. And also we are interviewing the first priest of the Carillion nativist tradition, Mr. Phoenix Kaufman, coming up pretty soon. So that was kind of really cool.
Yes, indeed.
It was really cool. And it has always been the objective on Witchcraft TV to be fair representation for all pagan witch and magic paths, meaning it's never governed by any particular organization, rule, or thumb. It is the voice of the people, our people, all of us, not particularly one slant of rule. So fair representation is kind of the gig. In pagan media, I often bump into people who clash, and there's witch wars going on, and no one cares. I don't care. I want everyone to have a voice, and I will stand by that now and into the future, Don.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for watching today, and we will close with our prayer, as we always do. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we ask you to help us to always be prepared for the unexpected and to be prepared to preserve our past as a conduit to our future. Help us to preserve the memory of our experiences and our community, and to build a strong and stable future as we go forward. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you with great love, and knowing you are always with us from respect, we thank you for your presence. May you be blessed now and always. May you be blessed now and always, and I'll be back tomorrow. And Harold, thank you again.